Good evening and welcome. When this week began, hardly anyone was talking about a storm named Helene. Tonight, it's all anyone is talking about along the Florida coast and across the deep south.
Hey guys, Capt Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. It's been about 7 months since we went through the Hurricane Helene disaster, followed by Hurricane Milton, two major hurricanes, a 100-year storm, if you will, followed by a crazy, crazy windstorm with Hurricane Milton. It has been a very interesting and long and hard-fought battle, but today, pretty much everything is back to the way it was for us here at Hubbard's Marina. A lot of people still dealing with this. There's so many people who are still not in their homes. There's plenty of businesses that are still struggling to rebuild. So I realize that not everybody is in the same position. So while we're trying to be positive and carry on the message that, hey, tourism is alive and well, you can come down to John's Pass and our beautiful beaches and enjoy a great vacation, I totally understand and empathize with the hundreds of thousands of people that are still not back to where they were prior to the storm. So it's been an interesting road for us at Hubbard's Marina. Leading up to Hurricane Helene, I knew we were going to be in a little bit of a pickle. There was multiple runs. Whenever these tropical seasons come upon us, I'm always watching the model runs. Basically every 4 to 6 hours you're getting updated information, and when you see one start to form, like right now it's early May, I'm watching something around May 22nd to 29th potentially. So already 2-3 weeks out, we're very aware of what's potentially looming. And then every 4 to 6 hours, more model runs happen and it gets a little bit more concise. And then once you're about a week out, you know with pretty good certainty, 2 or 3 days out, you're pretty positive, 24, 48 hours out, you know what's gonna happen for the most part. So as Hurricane Helene approached, we were watching it closely because we knew it was going to be a monster. We knew it was going to be pushing a lot of water. It had a lot of room to travel as a very powerful storm across the water. And basically, the bigger the bulldozer blade, the more water it pushes. So the fact that Hurricane Helene was such a wide storm and so powerful, it made landfall a little weaker, thankfully, but it was so powerful and so wide as it moved up towards us, we knew it was going to be pushing a lot of water. And we saw some of those storm surge early estimates, and I knew that it was going to be an ugly thing. And thankfully, for us at least, thankfully, it ticked a little bit more west. So the forecast track had it moving pretty far off our coast, like 120 to 150 miles. In reality, it ticked a little bit more east, and it only passed us maybe like 100, 110 miles, I believe, to our west. So the more it moved towards us, the more water it pushed towards us, and we all know what happened, right? It was pretty devastating. Luckily, our boats, our vessels were safe. Luckily, our main office was safe. We had it sealed up with hurricane doors foamed in. We had pumps in the floor. So a lot of our money makers, our vessels were safe and weathered the storm nicely because the boats, some flooding events don't necessarily bother the boats, right? As long as they're secured well, we got people watching them, they can weather high water. It's the wind that starts making it a little bit dangerous for the boats, and Hurricane Helene was not a wind event. Really, if you were on the coast, you experienced some pretty bad deal from Hurricane Helene, but if you were inland, it wasn't too bad. As you can see for some of the video playing, we had a lot of water, a lot of waves, and we had a lot of damage. Our location's dock was pretty much wiped off the map. Our other locations dock was pretty solid, had some damage, but most of our locations here in Johns Pass were almost completely obliterated. We lost all our inventory, we lost all our ice machines, our fridges, our freezers, we lost all our bait, all our live bait, frozen bait, all our live bait tanks. Basically, even things that were bolted down. Some of you guys might remember the shark. We had this shark out front that you could crawl into and actually climb up and take photos like a souvenir. That thing was bolted down with 5-inch lag bolts. The insurance company came around and they were worried that someone was going to make it fall over. So to appease the insurance company, we bolted that thing down, lag bolted it into the concrete, and that thing is gone. We still don't know where it was. It was there before the storm. The very next morning after the storm, it was gone. So it's not like it got stolen. It got wiped off the map, and it's floating somewhere in the Gulf of the Gulf, you know. So we don't know what happened to it. But as you can see from the video, we had 4 or 5 foot waves breaking across our parking lot into the parking garage. The morning after Helene, I'll never forget it, man. We came down to Johns Pass around 6:30 a.m. It was like a ghost town. It was like a scene out of The Walking Dead, man. It was just eerie. There's no one around, and the damage was just so vast, so widespread. You don't know whether to laugh, cry, or curl up in a ball. And unfortunately, the only path forward was how do you eat an elephant, right? Is one step at a time. We just had to get started. And that's what we did. We have a great team, a beautiful community, some wonderful staff, captains, crew, hardworking people. And we all came together as a family, and we knew what we had to do. We had to get back to business. We had to get a sense of normalcy back in our lives. We had to get an opportunity for our staff to get back to work and start to make some income so they themselves can recover. We had 14 staff members that pretty much lost everything they own. So we knew we had to get back open and get our doors open so those staff members could get back to work, make some income, and help themselves recover from the storms personally. So,
and what my video can do to people that seen it, hopefully it gives them a little incentive to not take that chance. And you're going to lose everything anyway. Don't lose your life. So anyway, everything's good now. We are, almost a week away from the next hurricane season. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was. We're getting ready to go on the Florida Fisherman too and go fishing. Everything's back together. Me personally, I have good friends, and I found a nice place in St. Pete Beach. It's beautiful, right next to the water. Some people say that some bad outcomes makes better things, and I'm really the guy that happened to. I got a nice place, and I got nice friends, and everybody came together as a community. Back to normal around here. Fishing's good. I'm good. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the video and listened and learned not to stay. When they tell you to leave, you leave. Anyway, Super J's back. We're doing good. Let's go fishing. Thanks, guys.
it was a challenge. It was interesting, lack of resources, lack of fuel, unable to get vehicles to Hubbard's Marina. We were putting in boats, and then they would close boat ramps, so we'd move to other boat ramps, they'd close those boat ramps. So then we were going up to random seawalls, they'd chase us out of there. We were like modern day pirates for about 5 to 6 days, shuttling people, shuttling tools, shuttling supplies, generators, fuel, all the different things we needed. We were open 5 days after Helene went through, believe it or not. I still can't believe it. Just so impressed with our team, all the hardworking people that made that possible. We had countless volunteers come from around the community to help us out as well, which was just so cool and so awesome to see our Hubbard's Marina family, our local community, and we were one of the first businesses to open back up here inside Johns Pass, and a rising tide raises all boats. So once we started getting back in, people saw us working, then other people were motivated and other businesses started to open, and we started to create that synergy, and then some people showed up for trips, and all of a sudden other businesses started to open. The restaurant opened with limited menus. Everybody was just trying to figure it out, right? And then Hurricane Milton came sliding into the picture as we were just finishing up prep and cleanup. We opened up 5 days after Helene. 2 days later, we had to then close to then start prepping for Hurricane Milton. Luckily, Milton didn't bring us any flood damage. It was a lot of wind, but everything had already been destroyed, so we didn't have any additional damage from Milton. What Milton did is it just wiped out the county wide, really the whole region wide infrastructure of power and internet. So it actually took us 9 days to open back up behind Hurricane Milton because it took so long to get power and internet restored to our beautiful beaches. But then once we were open back behind Milton, we didn't have any tropical systems in the forecast, thank the Lord, and we just worked really hard to get the message out that, hey, we were devastated. Our region was hit hard, but hey, we're back to work. And we need you and your help to come on out and visit and support our local area, our local community, and our Hubbard's Marina family. And the message was well received. A lot of people came down to check out the area, and some even got on dolphin tours and island trips and shelling trips with us. It was interesting, behind Hurricane Helene and Milton, and even still to this day, we're finding megalodon teeth. We found an Atocha coin out there at Shell Key. We saw some really crazy wildlife. We saw right whales. We saw a lot of unique wildlife sightings behind the storm, and I think we're still seeing some of that this year. The patterns have been a little bit interesting, and man, it was crazy, the amount of water, the amount of surf. The boardwalk, if you've been to Johns Pass, the west end of the boardwalk got damaged because the water was so high, the waves were so big, it damaged the boardwalk, which is crazy. You come down here and see how high the boardwalk is, you just know what that water was doing. And some of the footage we're showing you in this video is new, never before seen, and it just still gives me the chills to think about what this area went through. And we're blessed to be where we are today, and we're blessed to be carrying along the message that Johns Pass Hubbard's Marina is open, and all our trips are back running. So it's essentially, from an outsider's perspective, much the same as it was prior to the storm. You wouldn't be able to tell a difference. One of our locations still needs a little bit of work. There's some areas that the beaches that still need some work. Obviously, private residences are much more of a struggle. So many people are going through so many different hard times. So again, I definitely want to make sure the message is out there that, hey, we're excited and happy, and we love to welcome our tourists back, but we know a lot of people are still dealing with some serious hardship. So our hearts are with you, our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we're ready to recover from this storm and put this thing behind us. And the only answer is trying to be resilient and trying to keep our heads down and working hard. So Hubbard's Marina has been nominated for the 4th year as the top charter boat in the country. We're just so blessed to be where we are today, and we couldn't do that without your help. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following along, and hopefully we'll see you out in the water soon, because don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.